What's up everybody, it's Brenton Brown from Forza Tuning and Performance. And first off, I want to start off this video by thanking everybody. We've hit 40,000 subscribers, so we really appreciate the support. We got a ton of positive feedback and that really means a lot. I'm glad the videos are helping people or teaching some stuff. So that's basically what they're here for, and I just want to say thank you and we appreciate it. The video today is going to be about this Trackhawk. So this is a Stage 4R Trackhawk. So we get a lot of questions about what is a Stage 4R Trackhawk. Now, the reason we picked this one is we just finished it, literally. We haven't tuned it yet or anything. But this features a lot of cosmetic things on the outside that are different. And so this is kind of showing you all some different things that we can do exterior-wise, as well as performance stuff. So as far as the performance side, this is a regular Stage 4R Trackhawk build. So I'm going to kind of just go over that. We're going to do a couple different video series on this truck highlighting different areas. Today we're going to cover under the engine, or we're going to do the undercarriage of the truck, and then obviously all the exterior items that you see and kind of explain what all is going on here, why this one looks different. So I'm going to pop the hood. Let's check out the engine. I'll explain a few things going on right here. This is a 2020 Trackhawk, by the way. So a couple small differences. Okay, so this standard Stage 4R package. So the difference between the Stage 4 and the Stage 4R is the R package has all the undercarriage driveline modifications. And that's going to be consistent through all our different performance packages, whether it be Trackhawk, Hellcat, Camaro, Corvette, anything basically domestic, late model domestic cars are set up that way. The European side's set up a little bit different, but for the sake of this conversation, we're going to stick with this. So under the hood, what do we have going on? Stage 1 is basically on 2018 and up. We do a security bypass cable that allows us to read and write to the computer. We modify the PCM, so we can modify the original PCM. We can get a secondary PCM and modify that, whatever you want to do. A lot of people, they get the secondary PCM and have it modified thinking that they can plug it back in and the dealership will not know that it's been tuned or whatever. That is false. They can definitely tell that there's been another PCM installed, so you're not going to fool them. So if you're spending an extra $700 for PCM, if that's your goal, save the $700. We do brisk racing spark plugs in every single build. It's got a 160-degree thermostat. No, that is not too cold. Maybe if you live in Alaska or somewhere, possibly. This car will run between 181 and 185 degrees, whether you are in Ohio, Florida, Arizona, Nevada, doesn't matter. Okay, it's all controlled in the fan settings. The 160-degree thermostat is because we want to ensure that the thermostat is fully open at the 181 to 185 degree temperature range. Okay, you're doing 180-degree thermostat and you want it to run at 185. You're risking the thermostat not being fully open. Okay, so that's the purpose behind it. We got a lot of questions. We do the lower pulley. We do the lower pulley first, and I've explained this in other videos, because in my opinion that is the next smartest as far as financially. Okay, so a weak point in the engine is the crankshaft is not pinned. Okay, so there's no keyway or anything. So these engines are prone to the crankshaft balancer spinning on the crankshaft, which can permanently damage the crankshaft, which is obviously a very expensive repair. So what we do is we go ahead and we remove everything and put an aftermarket, a better balancer, which is an ATI, and that's a 10% overdrive pulley, which spins the supercharger faster, therefore increasing boost. While we're there, we pin the crankshaft so that is not a failure-prone area anymore, so you gain a lot of reliability. We clearance the timing cover for the bigger pulley to fit, and come to find out when we just looked at the Elephant motor, when we modify the timing cover, it is identical to the timing cover on the Elephant engine, and they're the exact same pulleys and everything. Stage 3, what we do is then we go to exhaust. So we use a custom set of headers that are made for us by American Racing Header, and we do high flow cats to get some extra power depending on where the car is going. Some states are very strict on emissions. So some states high flow cats are allowed, some states have no emissions testing, and then some are very strict. So depending on where you're from, we're going to modify this portion of the package so it's legal and will pass emissions wherever you live. We do the headers mainly because it's not a huge increase in horsepower, but it does give you a pretty good jump in torque. and you're actually lowering the boost just a little bit because you're relieving back pressure on the engine. So now we're running just barely over stock boost levels, and we're at about 130 or 140 horsepower over stock at the wheels, okay, on basically a pound and a half more boost, which is nothing. No stress on the engine. On a Trackhawk, we do a couple different things. So on all the Hellcat-based vehicles, like the Challenger, Charger, we leave the stock cat back. We don't do any mid-muffler delete or anything like that, and we suggest not doing that. The Trackhawk has a suitcase-style muffler that is very restrictive, and it still doesn't sound very good, even with the headers and stuff, in my opinion. So we suggest a catback exhaust be added, and it does legitimately add power on a Trackhawk. Right here with this cold air intake, same thing. We only use Legmaker cold air intakes, and that is the only one that we recommend on any of these builds. He makes a really nice carbon fiber intake. The tube being carbon fiber instead of metal means it doesn't heat up. A lot of the metal tubes, even though they're aluminum, if you run the engine and pop the hood and touch it with your hand, you cannot keep your hand on it, it's so hot. So obviously air going through a super hot metal tube is not conducive to getting cold air into the engine. A Legmaker cold air intake will add about 18 wheel horsepower on the Trackhawk platform with just the intake alone. We've tested this numerous times, so that's the only brand we recommend. It's got a really good, as far as flow characteristics, starts off big, it funnels in, you get a lot of airflow velocity. Awesome design. Of course, on stage 4, that is the point where we need to upgrade the fuel system components. Okay, so it gets different injectors. We do a dual booster pump unit on this. You can get away with not doing the booster pump. I just feel it's safer to always have extra fuel. I just feel like it's safer to have that extra volume of fuel. It's not, you know, some people don't like booster pumps. We specifically use Kenny Bell booster pumps only. I feel they're very reliable. It's the only ones on the market where I haven't really had any issues for years and years. And it's a much cheaper alternative than going with a multi-pump fuel system that, you know, if the guy's not gonna go above this power level, he doesn't really need to spend that much money. The fuel rail design on these Hellcats is a non-return fuel system. So the pump is controlled by a fuel pump control module. It's pulse width modulated, so it can vary the output of the fuel pump. Because of that, it only has a single feed going into the back of the fuel rail on the passenger side. So if you are not careful or not used to tuning these vehicles or anything like that and are not paying attention to fuel pressure, what you can do very easily is run the cylinders at the front of the rail lean. And so basically the injectors furthest away from the fuel supply don't get as much fuel. So the front cylinders can run lean, it can damage them. We've seen engines come in from other shops that didn't monitor fuel pressure. If they're just looking at a wideband reading or the factory widebands, your air fuel can not look too bad because the cylinders in the back can make up for it. So that's why we do all that. Obviously the supercharger gets modified. We've talked about that in several videos. We port and polish the front drive, or the snout as it's referred to, where it actually looks very similar to the snout that's seen on the Elephant engine. We go through and make several internal modifications. We do hardened drive pins, we do custom bushings, different bearings, a solid billet hub. We do not suggest changing the pulley on the supercharger unless you're going to go through and properly upgrade all the components in the supercharger. We have had 0 supercharger failures, and we've been doing these since 2015. If you get on the forums, you see supercharger failure and problems one after another. That is from overspinning the supercharger, and that is from not properly upgrading the internal components of the supercharger to handle the extra load. Okay, so do not do that. Do not buy the kit with the upper pulley, slap it on there. These superchargers are incredibly expensive. I don't remember what the price is on the Hellcat one currently, but I know the Red Eye Demon supercharger is well over $12,000, so not cheap to fix. We usually use the stock throttle body. At the horsepower level that we're at, we really don't see a huge gain in this. You can actually make 1,000 wheel horsepower of this stock throttle body without any real problems. And the stock throttle body literally drives 100% like stock. So you can get in this car, and if you do not mash on the gas and feel the extra power, you would not know it's not a stock vehicle. When you start changing throttle bodies, sometimes you get a little bit of drivability, variances. I've covered our catch can setup in several other videos. we get a lot of questions. Basically, do we sell just the catch cans? No, we do not. The only reason being is we have a hard time keeping up with production just from all the package cars that we build. So at this time, we do not sell just the catch can unless the car is being built here, and we have no plans in the future, at least short term, of selling the catch cans. So unfortunately, we do not. I don't really have a recommendation. All the ones that I see on the market are these little cans that sit right here that basically do nothing. I personally would not waste the money on that. I think it's not going to hurt anything, but the benefit is going to be negligible, if anything. So you can look at the other videos, and I explain in depth how this catch can system works. If y'all have any questions or can't find it, maybe we can do a catch can specific theory and logic, video. So that basically sums up the Stage 4R under the hood. We'll do another video, and we're going to go over all the stuff on the undercarriage that gets upgraded, why. I'm going to show you some weak areas and some different options that you can do. And then you see, obviously, the cosmetic differences between this and a regular Trackhawk. So I'm going to I'll go around in a video, and I'm going to show you all the different things that were done to this Trackhawk. And so you can just glancing at it, sometimes it's hard to tell without another one, stock one side by side. So if you like the look of this, I'll explain in detail each different thing that we did. So if you want to customize your own, or change it, or want to know where we get some of this stuff, I'll give you all the details on everything, for your own build. So this pretty much sums it up. If you have any questions that I didn't cover, feel free to drop them in the comments, and we'll try to address them in the comments, or make a video, or do something to get your questions answered. So again, thank you guys. The 40,000 subscriber mark, we were super happy about that. Super appreciative of all the people that watch the videos and get positive feedback on it. It really means a lot to us. So thanks, and be sure to check out the other videos on this Trackhawk.